I'm Dave Greenwood, and this is Overcoming Distractions. If you are an adult with ADHD, a busy professional, an entrepreneur, a high achiever, or just need some strategies to navigate your adult ADHD, you're in the right place. Who am I? I'm an entrepreneur with ADHD and the author of 2 books, Overcoming Distractions and Overcoming Burnout. I coach and mentor people just like you, and together we navigate the ups and downs of adult ADHD. From getting out of our own way to helping people just like you thrive in the workplace. That's what I do. Want more info on working with me? Hit overcomingdistractions.com. Ready? Let's get to today's podcast. All right, people, we are back. This is Overcoming Distractions, and this is the podcast for busy professionals that just happen to have ADHD and a little bit of a different brain. Whether you've been diagnosed or not, you suspect it, you're having challenges getting the work done, this is the place for you. We've had everybody from CEOs to solopreneurs to executives to people in project management and what have you come here to get the tools and the insight they need to get shit done. Because after all, that is one of the biggest challenges we have, right? So I want to talk because it is a massive topic and one of the more popular topics in the ADHD world when it comes to us busy people demanding jobs is time management. And today I want to talk about time and energy management. And I want to run through the questions that you can ask yourself every single day to help you kind of manage the workload and your weeks and your days and your hours and what have you, so we're not totally stressed out and always feeling behind. Managing our time, our energy, our priorities, other commitments are pretty much at the top of that list of the challenges with us busy adults. And I really like to revisit this topic in any possible way I can. This can be as basic as what type of to-do list we're using, how you're using that to-do list, and what's on it. It can be how we schedule our weeks, our individual days, how we look at projects and smaller tasks without getting overwhelmed, and meeting deadlines, which, as you know, somebody in a busy role is important. So it's also being proactive and taking control about how you find the time to get things done without being distracted and interrupted by others and interrupted by our own brain, right? Most workplaces aren't very good when it comes to respecting people's time, as I have learned so much over the years. So it really is up to us to take control of whatever we can. And that's a big thing with me, is control, because years ago I did not take control. I really didn't. The concept, I hate to say it, really wasn't on my radar, and always working in response mode. And I got tired, and probably contributed to me feeling burned out, and always feel like you're kind of working under way too much pressure. And that was that standard operating procedure that many of you probably still operate in. So that's not sustainable. And I think it's dangerous on a number of levels, because it can actually lead you to feel burned out, not just stressed, but burned out. So I want to run through a series of questions that we can ask ourselves pretty much every day, if in feeling like we can kind of manage our time and energy much better. And you're going to see a theme here, because I think it really goes back to what we do ahead of time, okay? And we're going to start the day before, all right? So let's just rock and roll with this. So I think one of the biggest questions you can ask yourself is what needs to be done tomorrow. This works tremendously for me, and other people I've worked with one-on-one find this incredibly powerful. My advice is that you really should already know what needs to be done before you leave your workspace for the day. So the answer to this question should be based on your planning the day before. I think it's pretty much mission critical to understand what you need to do the following day before you leave the office. Walking into your workspace, I don't care if it's your home office or whether you're going to the office and then deciding what to do, is just an absolute disaster for those of us with ADHD. We have 20 things and we think they all need to be done right now. That's the ADHD brain. So before you leave for the day, understand what needs to be done the next day. And I don't care how you do this, whether it's a piece of paper, it's put in your calendar, any type of workflow system you use, whether it's Asana, whatever you're using, it is important to understand what you need to do the next day. You should be able to show up to your workspace and get to work and feel less stressed. And you can do this just by practicing pausing even for a few minutes each day. So slow down, hit the pause button, and understand what you need to do. Okay, next, what does not need to be done tomorrow? This is almost as, if not more important, as to what you're actually going to get done. Because in a lot of cases, putting things off strategically is a smart move. We've talked about this before, and I really, there's a huge difference between procrastination and strategic delay. Nothing good comes from procrastinating, because when you're procrastinating, you're putting something off that actually does need to be done. But if something does not need to be done right now, and you're doing it because it might be shiny or it feels good or your brain just decided that that's what you want to do, that's probably not the best use of your time in the moment, okay? So understand that there's procrastination where your back's up against the wall, and then there's strategic delay, putting things off in a smart way. Now, a word of caution, do not take my advice as an invitation to always work on deadline. That's not what I mean by this. And don't tell me you work best on deadline, because I actually don't believe you, all right? I know I don't. So we tell ourselves that story, but, and many of you who said, I went through college working on deadline, I get it, okay? But it's not totally the best way to work. You know that deep down inside. So, okay, next question you want to ask yourself: do I have what I need to get done the next day? Do I have what I need? So we waste more time chasing around the things we actually need to get our work done, and that includes getting what we need from other people. So, say for example, you have put in your calendar, write a proposal to a new client. Do you have everything you need? Do you need data from other members on your team? Do you have everything you need from that client to adequately address and craft that proposal? Are you creating an expense report? Are all your receipts in 17 places? Okay, that's not smart either. If you have to put something on your to-do list for the following day, make sure you have what you need to get the job done. And honestly, you'll thank me later. That does take being proactive on our part and our level. And I know sometimes we do have challenges being proactive and maybe communicating with others. And that's a muscle that those of us with ADHD are going to have to work on, is getting a little more proactive and maybe even a little more assertive. So, all right, next. Did you get ready at home the night before? I can tell you, if I don't have certain things in place the night before, the following day can turn into a train wreck. And I know that. Is the coffee machine locked and loaded? Okay. Is your laptop charged? Did you make lunches for the kids? Whatever it is, take a few minutes and get it done the night before. I know this for a fact, not only with myself, but everybody else that I have worked with individually. If you start your day off in chaos, I can assure you that's probably how it's going to end. So, I mean, if this is challenging, make a list of things that need to be in place the night before and put it in the most obvious place possible. Maybe it's your kitchen counter. I mean, I don't care. Maybe it's on top of the coffee machine. And go ahead and make fun of me about advice to make a list. But if you don't know what needs to be done, especially the night before, guess what happens? The next day is going to start off not so good. All right? So make that list. Make that kind of checklist. Put it in an obvious place. I don't care. Use bold type. Use a red Sharpie. Whatever it takes. Okay? We can get as simplistic and caveman as possible when it comes to this stuff. So, all right. Next. Do I have any meetings? Before you leave your workspace for the day, you really should know if you have any meetings the following day. And I'm guessing they're probably in your calendar. But we're talking about those of us with ADHD here, so I just want to make sure it's in the mix. It's also wise for you to understand if you needed to do anything for your meeting or meetings. And nothing, as I am sure you know, is more embarrassing than sitting in a room full of people, or maybe you're on Zoom with a bunch of people and realizing you didn't do your homework, right? So, first, make sure you review your calendar for the day before you leave your workspace and see if there's any meetings or other appointments. And next, make sure you have what you need. And speaking of meetings, and I've talked about this before, and this has to do with one of my favorite words, which is clarity. Never leave a meeting unless you know exactly what needs to be done after that meeting, your responsibilities after the meeting, and any deadlines for work that kind of comes out of that meeting. Go back to your desk. Or if you're at your desk already, such as you're on a Zoom meeting, just take 5 minutes to recap and put anything in that to-do list or calendar that is due as a result of that meeting. And if you actually do need to follow up with somebody, do it quickly. Don't let a lot of time go by, because that's where lack of clarity comes in. And I'll throw this, since we're talking about meetings. Do you actually need to be in this meeting? I can't tell you how many people I have talked to that are just in meetings that they don't need to be in. And I think that's, oh my God, we could do a whole podcast on this one, right? So I'm going to put that on my list. All right. Next question to ask yourself: will I have time to take care of myself? I think this is huge. I propose this as like time and energy management. And we always talk about time and time and time. But if you don't have the energy, guess what? You're going to have a challenge managing your time. So can you get in some type of time with yourself? Is it getting lunch on time? More people I talk to, they didn't eat lunch. Okay, they just pushed through. But it really is important to just have some time for yourself each day. Is it hitting the gym during the day? Is it taking a walk during the lunch hour? Whatever it is super important to do something to just clear your head during the day and re-energize yourself. So make sure you begin the habit, even if it's slow, to just take some time for yourself each workday. And one of my favorite things to say is nobody is going to miss you for half an hour. And I think that's true. So make sure you take some time to hit that pause button. Okay. Last question, and I'm sure I could come up with more, but these are the core ones. At the end of the day, did I get what I needed to get done? And whether your day went well or not, I think it's a great idea to unpack what went well and what did not go well. And I think we can learn from both types of days. If your day was a train wreck, unpack it. Be honest with yourself. Figure out what didn't go right. If it did go well, then man, we got to duplicate that, right? Okay. So, did you get done what you needed to? Did you get others you promised what they needed from you? Are you happy with what you got done? And are you fulfilled with what you got done? And was your day a complete train wreck? What happened and how can we correct it? So, all right. Those are some simple questions you can ask yourself every day, maybe towards the end of the day, wherever. I don't care how you do it, but make sure if you have some challenges with time, at least start the process of getting a day ahead of yourself. I think you'll see an enormous difference. And I believe by making that habit and getting rid of the day before your next working day, you'll be better prepared, less stressed out, more organized. I also believe you'll be able to structure your week to be much more productive and fulfilled if we start to kind of build that habit. All right, gang. If some of the stuff resonates with you and you still need somebody to bounce some ideas off of, or you're just having some challenges and the challenges are more than we can solve in a podcast episode, please reach out to me. I am here to help you navigate the ups and downs of being a busy professional with ADHD. Just hit my website, Overcoming Distractions, book a quick Zoom chat with me, see if we're a good fit, and let's work together to solve some problems. It's overcomingdistractions.com. All right, gang. We'll catch you next time.